everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful idea from investing legend William O'Neill. It's the concept that the key to your future success in the market is actually hiding in your own past trades. So, we're going to break down how a systematic review of your own trading history can help you stop making the same old mistakes and start building a truly winning strategy.
You know this old saying, right? We've all heard it. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to your money and your investments, this isn't just a cliche, it's a hard truth. Forgetting the lessons from your past, both the big wins and especially those painful losses, is pretty much a guaranteed way to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. So let me ask you, and be honest with yourself. Does that feel familiar? Do you ever look at your portfolio and just get that feeling of déjà vu, like you're stuck in a loop? You know, maybe you keep buying too high, or you're always selling too late for the exact same reasons. It's super frustrating, I get it. But here's the good news. There is absolutely a way to break that cycle.
And that brings us right to the core insight from the man himself, William O'Neill, the founder of Investors Business Daily. What made him a legend wasn't just that he studied the market's past. No, his big secret, his game changer, was that he obsessively studied his own trading past to figure out what worked and what didn't. That's how he built his whole system.
Now, what's so cool about this is the idea that the market isn't just random noise. It leaves clues, kind of like footprints in the sand. So the key to unlocking better returns for yourself, it isn't some secret formula you have to go out and buy. Nope, it's already there, buried in the data of your own trades. O'Neill's whole system is just about learning how to read those clues.
The official name for this whole process is post-analysis, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a disciplined, honest review of your trades after they're done. You look at your biggest winners and, just as importantly, your biggest losers, and you hunt for the common threads. And look, this isn't just a casual glance back. This is what professional traders do constantly to sharpen their edge.
Okay, so that's the what. Makes sense, right? But the big question is, how do you actually do it? Well, let's get into the playbook. We're going to turn you into a market detective. And your own trading history, that's your case file. The process is actually pretty straightforward. Let's walk through the 5 steps. First, you pull up the charts of the stocks you traded and you mark them up. Note the patterns, the volume, all the key action. Second, pinpoint the exact spot where you bought and where you sold. You gotta be brutally honest here. Third, and this one is huge, what was the overall market doing? Were you swimming with the current or against it? Remember, most stocks just follow the market. Fourth, look at your entry point. Was it a proper buy from a solid base, or were you just chasing an already high-flying stock? And fifth, and this is where the real gold is often buried, scrutinize your selling. Did you sell a winner way too soon? Or even worse, did you let a small loss turn into a huge one?
And that last point about selling, that's where so many of us stumble. Think about it. Buying is the fun part, right? It's easy to get excited and hit that button. But knowing when and how to sell correctly, that's the real skill. That's what separates the pros from the amateurs. And post-analysis is basically your personal gym for building that selling muscle.
And when it comes to selling, you've really got 2 main plays. Think of it like a sport. First, you have offensive selling. That's selling into strength on the way up to lock in those gains. Then you have defensive selling. This is about protecting your capital, selling on the way down to cut a loss before it gets out of hand. To succeed in the long run, you've got to master both. All right, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this stuff actually plays out in the real world, shall we? We're going to jump in a time machine and use the 2019 market as a perfect case study to see these ideas in action. So 2019 was a fantastic example of a market with a changing personality. It kicked off with a massive rally in the first half, and it was all about cloud computing stocks. But then, in the third quarter, things stalled out, and the big money rotated into safer stuff, like retail and home builders. And finally, the year ended with another huge surge, this time with biotech and medical stocks joining the party. Each phase was a whole new ballgame.
And check this out. Here are 2 of the absolute rock stars from that first rally, Zscaler and Okta. Both were cloud stocks, and both showed those classic leadership signals. You see those powerful breakouts on huge volume? Now, here's the cool part. Imagine you traded Zscaler. If you did your post-analysis, you would have trained your eye to spot that exact winning pattern. And you'd have been ready when Okta came along and did pretty much the same thing.
Then, just like we said, the market shifted gears, and boom, new leaders emerge. You had the retailer RH just powering higher over the summer, and then this biotech, Arrowhead, went on an insane 400% run to end the year. The takeaway here is huge. Market leadership always rotates. It's not a question of if, but when. And by regularly analyzing your trades, you stay in sync with those changes instead of getting left behind.
Okay, so looking at these big market winners is a great exercise. It teaches us a ton about what works. But now it's time to turn that powerful lens around and focus it where it truly matters most.
Because here it is. This is the ultimate takeaway. While studying the big winners is fantastic for training your eye, the single most important charts you will ever analyze are your own, your wins, your losses, your good habits, your bad ones. That is where the real breakthroughs in your performance are going to come from. So, as you start doing your own post-analysis, remember this. It's not just about finding what you did wrong. It's also about uncovering your patterns of success, finding your hidden strengths so you can lean into them even more. The only way to find out is to open up the books and become a detective of your own trades. So, the real question is, what will you discover?